Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to my channel. My name is Christian, and I am Intoroq. So, I am very excited to launch off this project. This is a project that I had in mind, maybe 3 to 4 years ago. And for some reason, I was never able to get it off of the ground, and I'm finally doing it, which I'm very happy to. Just to be able to share some of the old stuff that I've done in the past, and looking forward also to the future. A lot of cool things coming on this channel that I'm very excited and that I definitely want to share with all of you guys. So yeah, tune in. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's very important, and it's going to help me out a lot. For the channel to grow. I am looking forward to it. We did about over 20 podcasts in from 2012 to 2013, and I'm gonna be releasing those so you guys can enjoy them. There's a lot of good, valuable information, and I think it can still be applied in today's game. For what you guys are trying to accomplish for the bands and stuff. Also, another thing that I do want to talk about is the project that I will be launching off in the future. I'm going to be releasing the podcast first. After the podcasts have been released, I will proceed and publish all of the interviews that we did with the bands from LA, which I started a documentary couple years back ago called the LA Scene, or La Scene, and it's based on the Spanish Latin alternative rock. How it started here in LA, who the players were, our the ladies that brought, that started doing the first shows and so on. I think it's going to be really cool for some of you old timers out there. It's going to bring you a lot of nostalgic moments. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and listen to the first podcast. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'm looking forward to watching everybody and going on this journey. Peace, rock and roll.
Muchísimas gracias por sintonizar a Talking Rock en Español. Estamos transmitiendo desde la ciudad más feliz del mundo, Anaheim, California. Yo soy su servidor, Héctor Robles, y a mi lado está
Cristian Mejía.
Y vamos a hablar rock en español.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? So the name of the show is Talking Rock en Español, and it's basically formatted. It's in both, in Spanglish. We're just going to go ahead and say that. I feel a little bit more comfortable speaking English. My Spanish I don't think it's that great, but, I think most of you guys are going to understand what we're talking about, or at least what I'm saying. Hector's very good at speaking Español. So, but it's kind of like our culture here in California. We basically use both of the languages. We combine them. But we really hope you enjoy this and hope you guys learn something from this.
Okay, bueno, mi nombre es Héctor Robles, soy fundador de Experimento 56 y la razón que estoy yo aquí es nada más para mirar las diferentes perspectivas. Como Cristian trabaja en promociones, ahí también era baterista, o es baterista, disculpa.
Baterista, sí, siempre voy a hacer, pero ya no estoy activo.
¿Sabes qué? Y esto ni siquiera me lo has mencionado antes, pero ¿con cuáles grupos o qué bandas?
Most of the bands, they're already, they're gone.
Pero pues por lo mínimo para mirar a ver.
One of them was, no, you're not even going to find them on the internet. This was way before the internet.
Pues invéntate algo entonces.
No, I'm not making it up, but one of the bands was Zenith. The other one was Soul Patch. Another band was 5 Till 8. I also performed in two cover bands. One was basically just like top 40s, like two classic rock, and the last one was I was the drummer for Dark Passion.
Huh.
And that's how I started getting more involved with rock en español.
Nice. Bueno, pues como yo les había mencionado, conmigo, ahorita yo estoy todavía tocando en los clubes y bares aquí de Los Ángeles y Santana, Anaheim y donde nos dejen tocar, los estacionamientos. Y la razón que yo me interesé en hacer este podcast era porque miraba muchos de los grupos que estaban haciendo los mismos errores que yo estaba haciendo. Entonces, en vez de criticar, se me hizo una mejor idea de que entre todos nos ayudáramos, porque me parece que el rock en español está ahorita en una situación un poco difícil, porque solamente hay los Manás y los Jaguares y luego están los otros grupos, pero no he notado que no hay otros grupos que han llegado a esa elevación o
Nivel.
a ese nivel. Y pues para discutir acerca de todas esas cosas, ¿por qué no? Y para fundar una comunidad, para ayudarnos unos a los otros también en cómo evolucionar nuestro arte de la música un poco más.
Yeah, and that's basically what we want to do. We want to go ahead and, like he mentioned, do a community, build a community, and at the same time, help the promoters promote their shows. Some of the local bands, they can send us their demos and stuff. We will be more than happy to play one of their songs. Talk about it, introduce them to our audience, and you guys can do the same thing, vice versa. During this podcast that we're going to be hosting, we're going to cover many things. I think some of you guys don't remember, or I'm sorry, you guys don't know about. So basically, the foundation of this podcast is to build a community. In the future, you guys are going to listen, and I'm going to be talking about where you guys should submit, who to contact, help you out on the press kits, what to do, what not to do. And one of the things I have always noticed with a lot of the bands is everybody gets really, really, really excited, that they have something and it's not even 100% well done or produced. So hopefully you guys can learn from it. I mean, it's not about... All I want to do is I just want to help everybody out and make it where it's very supportive and where A&R guys or the executives can pay attention to.
If A&R guys even exist anymore,
well,
bro. But I mean,
some do, but I mean, at least some executives or if they can pay attention to you guys, man. And that's what it's all about. That's the whole reason I'm doing this podcast.
And another thing too, I actually want to make pretty clear is that we definitely don't know everything. We're not here to lecture anybody or to tell anybody this is the right way or not. I mean, this is an art, and it's just for all of us to come together as a community and actually just help each other out. That's what I definitely want to point out.
I could definitely tell you. I mean, it's a lot of us don't know, but I mean, I kind of did learn the hard way, and I am more than happy to share some of this information because I honestly, man, I would love to see a band from LA that plays rock en español to rise to the top. I mean,
Y sabes qué, disculpa que te interrumpa, nada más hace un poco de tiempo, cuando salió ese grupo que se llamaba María Fatal, man, me encantaba la música de María Fatal, man, y estaban tan cerquitas.
It was cooking, man.
Ya estaba tan cerquitas de esa situación y estuvo un poco, pues, hasta como que te pega esta depresión de decir, shit, man, no le pudieron seguir dando.
That was actually one of the first albums that I went and bought. I was like, man, this stuff is really cool, man, what these cats are doing. All my life, I have always listened to American music, completely English music. But when I found out about them, I was like, okay, let me check it out. I was still kind of a little skeptical, maybe. I was just like, I don't know. But I inserted the CD into my car player, and I was really digging it. I'm like, man, they have a drive. I mean, they sound really fucking good, And it's like, when can I see these? Can I see these guys live? But at the moment, I wasn't quite sure where to go or what was happening. So
Y esa es otra cosa también definitivamente que quisiera mencionar, es de que muchos grupos ahorita, que me gusta la música de ellos, está bien difícil de saber cuándo están tocando o cuándo no, porque en veces ponen la información en Facebook, en veces la ponen en su sitio de internet y en veces no. Entonces esa es otra cosa también que yo les quisiera mencionar a toda la gente, es de que necesitamos que poner toda la información como grupo en diferentes sitios y siempre como tener una lista, decir, ok, vamos a ir a rockeros.com o rockeros.net. Y luego nos vamos a ir Al Borde y todos los sitios de internet de rock en español y poner allí cuando están tocando los grupos, porque a mí se me hace que eso es uno de los problemas también como un consumidor de música, es de que nunca sabes cuándo están tocando porque están tan desorganizados todos los grupos, o muchos de los grupos diría, y nunca sabes dónde van a estar tocando o a qué horas. Se me hace que una de las cosas más importantes que puede hacer un grupo es poner su sitio de internet, porque es tu propia casa, poner toda la información allí, porque
definitivamente.
si no,
Porque
¿para qué lo tienes?
Porque hay cosas que pasan de moda. MySpace fue uno, es un
sí,
ejemplo.
sí.
Sí, en eso definitivamente mucha gente tuvo they had the opportunity to, promote themselves, and even, as a matter of fact, even to get signed, to get noticed. I think one of the bands that did a very good job was Los Hollywoods. They got some sort of sponsorship through MySpace, or they got something out of it. I don't really recall, but props, man, because they did it. But at the same time, most of the bands don't have a designated website, or if they do, it's not 100%.
Never updated, dude.
It's
That's
not
the
really
problem.
updated. So I think that's one of the things that bands really need to work on. But yeah, you have like Twitter, you have Facebook.
But that should be like the little icons you have on your website, so people, no matter what's fashionable at the time, because I mean, realistically, man, you never know when these social networks are gonna go, in and out of fad.
That's true, but what's also one of the things that they can also do is they can do their guerrilla marketing, and it's basically doing the footwork. Make sure they show up at shows and promote themselves. It's hard work, man. It's really hard work.
Y sabes qué,
And
si
you
yo
have
hubiera,
to be able to put it up to do it, man.
si yo hubiera sabido de que iba a ser tanto trabajo, lo hubiera pensado dos veces, porque cuando primero miras a los músicos en el escenario, se mira como que están pues disfrutando la vida y está todo, disculpa, pero todo bien chingón. Y cuando realizas que, man, tengo que ensayar 2 veces a la semana, y eso es lo fácil, porque a mí me gustaría solamente ensayar, pero aparte de eso tienes que ir a las tocadas para conocer a los promotores, necesitas que ir a diferentes eventos.
Necesitas saber quién es quién.
Yeah, y atender diferentes eventos para mirar a ver cuáles otros grupos están tocando ese mismo género y para hablar con ellos y hacer amigos y amistades, porque lo que yo he notado es de que para mí es mucho más trabajo estar poniendo las tocadas y haciendo los flyers, arreglando todo lo del ángulo de...
Well, yeah, okay, te voy a interrumpir aquí.
Sí.
This is where it gets really interesting. Because as a band, you need to find out who's the strongest and who's the weakest. Who can be utilized to do certain things. But at the same time, never leave that guy hanging. I mean, never let him do all the work. Everybody has to have the same amount, put in the same share of work into it. I mean, one of the things I have noticed is like they have lives, where it's like they have to support their families. They have to do things to survive. And like, one of the comparison is like, between the American bands and like, rock en español bands. It's like the American bands, it's like, you know what? I don't care if I eat or don't. I don't care if I drive a Lexus or if I drive whatever. I'm happy playing my craft with us. I mean, I'm telling you because I see this. You are not going to give that up.
Pero también la cultura está diferente, man, porque como Y no estoy diciendo que los americanos no sean responsables, pero a muchos más les vale chile, man. Se van dejando al hijo, dejando sus responsabilidades. Y muchos de los latinos no tienen sus responsabilidades y no, se me hace que es parte de la cultura también, no es necesariamente de que ellos tienen más ganas o no. Y otra cosa tienes que tomar en consideración es de que la marqueta del rock en español está tan chiquita, esa marqueta comparada a la del rock en inglés.
Pero a la misma vez pienso de que se puede hacer algo. Uno, porque vienes de aquí, estás aquí, y a la misma vez asemblamos una comunidad y podemos organizar buenos eventos. Esto puede crecer.
No, sí,
Pero si
desde
estamos
luego.
todos separados, va a ser muy imposible.
Y sabes que tienes mucha razón en esa situación porque lo que he notado también es que ciertos grupos no quieren darte un contacto para hablarle a alguien porque dicen, no, esta persona es mi contacto mío y no te lo voy a dar a ti. Y la verdad es que todos estamos tratando de hacer la misma cosa. No es como que sea tu amigo favorito o que sea alguien que no les puedes dar ese teléfono. Eso es lo que hacen. They're booking agents, you know, and it's like, well, if he's a booking agent, why aren't you willing to give me his number? It's ridiculous, you know.
Well, es diferente, pero como en este nivel no debería de ser así. Because it's like this, man. Like when you're in Hollywood, when you're inside, we can all share that, man. Information because we're trying to get something. We're trying to build something and it's not happening.
You know what though, man? I think one of the problems is that other bands can see each other as competition when in reality,
it's always a competition though.
You know what though? I disagree, man. I don't think it's competition at this level. I think it's competition with Maná and Jaguares. I don't think it's a competition between my bar band and the bar band down the street because honestly, dude, we're both making $30 for the night. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not really
Or
competition.
zero.
Yeah, or
But
zero.
at the same
You don't
time,
get
okay,
paid.
but like, you know, you just said that it's a competition between Jaguares and Maná. Those are established.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? And no matter what, if you put both of them playing the same night at different venues, they're gonna draw their people. With us, who's gonna go where? So we're still competing.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? I guess I see it a little bit different, man. I don't even think it's a competition because it's kind of like eating at a Mexican restaurant. My band is chile rellenos, and your band is enchiladas. People want to
With
go.
chipotle sauce, please.
Okay. Well, people are going to want to go to a Mexican restaurant and they may want to have a chile relleno or they may want to have an enchilada, but it's still Mexican food, but it's different types of Mexican food. You know
Different
what I'm saying?
tastes.
So that's why I don't think it's a competition because somebody who likes my band may like your band and they might like both bands. And I think one of the biggest problems with the rock en español scene is the fact that, and I've experienced this as a consumer, I'm very disappointed with the
lack of
lineup, man,
performance.
because it's like if I get one cool band for the night, I'm like, wow, at least I didn't lose the $10 that I just spent for the night. Because most of these shows, I mean, they just suck some fat donkey balls, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, there's some cool bands, don't get me wrong, and we've played with a lot of cool bands, but you know, the problem is that there's like 10%, and I'm just pulling the shit out of my ass, but there's like 10%. Decent bands that you're like, wow, man, those guys got some talent, dude. And then there's like 90% that you're like, God damn, man, you need to sit at home a little more and practice. But the thing is, both of them are on the bill, and then I mean, you get them both on the stage, and it's the guys who are opening up, or the other 90%, they mess everything up for the other 10% that are actually decent, and the club's empty by the end of the night, And as a consumer, I don't want to see that shit, man.
No, that goes bad for everybody. It goes bad for the bands. First of all, it goes bad for the promoter. It goes really bad for the venue, and it's a loss.
And what do you think?
You have the thing where it's like, I really don't want to have a rock en español
exactly,
band
and that's
because it's not good for business, So I don't know. Man. I have to say, you definitely need to practice your instrument. But not necessarily practice your instrument, be really good, give a hell of a show so people can come and see you and you gain more fans.
And you know what? That's another thing too. We recently went to a show, and I actually think this band. We're not going to mention any names, but I actually think this band is very talented, man. Very, very talented musicians. But the show, it's kind of heartbreaking. You're like, that was a boring show, bro. I mean, if the people want to listen to good music, they'll sit at home and they'll listen to the CD. But the show just wasn't. The individual wasn't communicating with the crowd as much as I would like it to, and it almost felt like there was a wall in front of the band and the audience, and you didn't really get to. It didn't feel like a party, you know. It felt like we're here, we're sitting in our corner,
like
we're watching. Yeah,
more than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you see that they're not talking to the audience. I mean, after every song ends, it's like, what are we doing next, or which one are we doing? I mean, you don't hear it, but you see it, that they're looking at each other. It's like, you know, literally like 15-20 seconds on stage of just like emptiness.
Y otra cosa también que te tengo que decir man, me enojo yo también con mis integrantes de mi grupo también, es cuando ponen todas las cosas enfrente del escenario, como las cosas del bajo, diferentes cosas enfrente y el escenario no está limpio.
It's not clear. It's not,
putting guitar cases or leaving, like,
the thing about the stage is, like, you know, the stage, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a stage. It's not storage.
You can't be putting your
that's where
cases
you're
up
going to be performing. That's where you're going to be performing. It's like you basically need to go in, do your quick line check, and then step out. Once you're done with your set, leave. You know, grab your gear and leave, because it's very disrespectful. You're all of a sudden friends, you know, they like you and they'll come up and they start talking to you on stage, and that's not cool, man. It's
y eso pasa mucho, Muchos de los grupos hacen eso.
Time from the other bands, and it's just wrong. You know, I mean, that's one of the things that you definitely, as a band, you need to work on. You know, make the best of what you can while you perform, because those things, you know, the promoters see it, the people at the bar see it, and especially the sound guy. If they see that you lack on that, they're not going to care. They're not going to give you a great sound. And, you know, I mean, now that we've been touched on this topic, see, there's like so many things that we can go from here, man. But it's just, again, learn from these things, you know.
Stage presence being such a big...
You know, I mean, I went through this stuff, and it's like, you know, you feel like you put everything, it's like, you know, you put your heart and soul into it, and then they'll tell you, it's like, you know, don't do this, don't do that, because it's like, it's not good for the image of your band. I understand that rock and roll is rock and roll, and it's like, you know, one individual says, you know, balls on your face, but it is, you know, you still need to practice these.
Se me hace que lo que se le olvida a mucha gente es de que no solamente es arte, pero también negocio, y necesitas que trabajar en muchos diferentes aspectos, desde la presencia en el escenario hasta una cosa tan simple como el micrófono, traer tu propio micrófono a todas las tocadas. Y yo recientemente compré mi micrófono, man, porque toqué en un club donde apestaba gacho el micrófono y están bien madreados los micrófonos, man. Y la cosa
did somebody put it up someone's ass or what?
Man, that's some stanky ass shit. Pero la cosa es que es tu responsabilidad tuya de traer ese equipo, porque no tienes...
Well, definitivamente, claro, porque si eres el vocalista, eso es parte de
tu instrumento.
You know,
Pero muchos grupos, hasta grupos que dices, estas personas tienen talento, no traen su propio micrófono.
Yeah, again, you know, it's like I'm telling you, it's like sometimes we forget because we get so emotionally excited that we want to go out there and perform, and we forget. I mean, when I was doing shows, there were bands like, you know, hey, I forgot my guitar. How the fuck do you forget your guitar? Explain that to me. And as a promoter, what am I supposed to do? I mean, like, I can go ask somebody, hey, let me use this, but you know what? the other band is not gonna be like, oh, it's for that band. No, man, I don't know, man.
Y luego
It's like,
también como guitarrista, man, las guitarras son como las novias, no las prestas a nadie
No.
así, man. No.
unless you're into that kind of shit.
Yeah,
you know?
but I mean, for the most part, you ain't letting nobody, borrow your girlfriend, bro. Same thing with your guitar. I mean, it's like,
Exactly. That's what one guitar player told me. I mean, as a drummer, it's a little bit different because you can share the drum kit. You don't share the pedals, the snare, and the cymbals. But the rest of it, you can bang.
there's the joke for the day. Wow, man, pero hay muchos aspectos de todo esto, como te estaba mencionando, que es mucho más de lo que piensa la gente. No solamente ir a, como dice el Alex Lora,
Queremos
a rock and rollear. No es solamente eso, man, es mucho trabajo y mucha gente dice, bueno, pues lo del micrófono, pues esa es una cosa. O lo del escenario, de que dejo todas las cosas de la bataca por todas partes o de mi guitarra. Pero de una cosa en otra se hacen muchas cosas y así es como se mira mal el grupo y
La escena. Más
Sí.
que todo en esto, la escena de rock en español.
Yeah.
Porque créeme, yo he hablado con personas que están en el business, you know, in the music business. And
¿Y
this
qué
is
dicen del rock
basically-
en español?
Honestly, that there's no potential. We don't have our shit together. Straight up.
Y casi se te cae el corazón, man, en escuchar esas cosas, pero
You
la
know
verdad
what?
es de que...
You know what? It was like somebody fucking socked me in
balls.
in my gut. It was like when I first heard that, I was like,
But check it out, bro. How many bands that have toured, like Spanish bands that have toured and are still making these mistakes, bro? They're making like rookie mistakes, and it's like, what the hell are you doing, dude? You've been on tour.
Again, it's like one of the things that, we need to put away all these bad habits. Like, we need to be a lot more responsible. We need to see it. It's a business. And if you want to grow and be able to become this great musician that you dream of, this band that you dream of, that you want to be on the top, you need to fix all these problems.
And you know what? Some shit, I gotta get it out. Will all the bands please stop trying to sound like La Ley or Héroes del Silencio, man? Fuck, man. That I'm sorry, dude. That shit just pisses the shit out of me. It's like, dude, I just heard you talk and you don't sound like Wumburi, dude. And then you hear him up on the stage and you're like, what the fuck? It's just kind of like, be yourself, man. Be who you are. And
I understand that, especially Boombody, a lot of people like that guy. A lot of people love him.
And the guy's got mad talent, but that's him, man.
He's definitely, he's got it, dude. I used to bullshit around with this other guy. I'd be like, dude, what the fuck you listen to this guy, dude? It fucking blows. But in reality, I do enjoy his music, and it was just a way of me getting back to him, just fucking around with him. But that, to me, is what really... This is one of the things that bugs me. That band made a huge influence on a lot of kids, on a lot of people, that they decided to pick up a guitar, they decided to pick up a drum, they decided to sing because they fell in love with Héroes del Silencio, they fell in love with Soda Stereo, they fell in love with
La Ley.
All these other bands, during the early 90s, mid 90s.
But the problem is that the guitar player sounds like just like it did in the 80s,
but
man.
hold on. But true. It's yes, but it's like, it's sad that, these bands ended up stopping and they ended up quitting. They broke up. I don't know why. If they would have kept going, they would be so much higher.
You mean who?
Moment.
Los Héroes del Silencio?
Yeah,
or?
all these other bands that we just mentioned. All of these bands, because they were like, in a way, they were kind of like the pioneers of rock en español. In a way. Rock en español has been around since the 50s, which we're going to talk about that in another podcast. But
Avándaro.
Fest. There's a lot of it, man. But most of the bands, especially here in LA, man, they were influenced by those bands. So,
but do you agree? A lot of them are like, they sound like 80s
be
bands.
original. Definitely be original. Be original.
Everyone's gonna have their influences. I mean, that's understandable. But when your band sounds like, did Bumburi just come out with a new song? I mean, then you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, or did I mean? And I know it's difficult, and that's the whole point of art, man. It's just it's a difficult profession, you know. But it almost seems like that's partially why the rock en español movement hasn't really moved, is because a lot of these bands, they're not putting out anything different, I guess, like that you're like, wow, like this is interesting. The one band that actually was pretty cool, man, that I really liked from LA was Los Abandoned, man. Those guys were pretty cool, dude. Same thing there, dude, just like Maria Fatal. I mean, they were starting to kick some ass, and I don't know what happened, to be honest with you, because I'm not very familiar, but it was like, fuck, I just stopped hearing about them. They broke up, and that was the end of that, you know? It's like,
I know. What got me was this, that they released the album. It's like, okay, cool, man. This is like, this band is going somewhere. You know, from what I remember, they were touring with Molotov, doing several shows here and there. And I don't remember where I saw this. I think it could have been like on MySpace, where they mentioned something that they were about to break up and that they were going to sell everything at 50%.
They're going to sell what?
Their albums, all of their stuff, their merchandise. And I was like,
oh, shit.
What? It's like, I was pretty bummed out, man. And I was kind of like, you know, this is a band that is going to the top. You know, they played Vive Latino. What the fuck, man? It's like, you know, why are you breaking up? You're a great band. You're a really good fucking band. You know, you have these great musicians, man. Like, you know, Señor Verde, you know, Mr. Green. Yeah. Fucking amazing guitar player, man. He's fucking talented.
You know, I actually jammed.
The bass player, dude. I don't even want to talk about it, dude, because this guy gives me the chills every time I listen to him play. And Dulce.
Yeah, I jammed with Dulce, dude. That guy's a badass drummer, dude.
The dude's got a nice fucking touch, dude, playing the skins.
Yeah.
You know, and also, you know, the way he hits the cymbals, dude. I mean, this is a little bit more like, you know, technical, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, they had their shit together, dude. And then, like I said, just like the endless story with Maria Fatal, man, it just disappeared.
Signed to to an American label.
Well, I think one of the biggest things, bro, is that everyone in the Spanish rock community is waiting for somebody else to do something. And I think that, kind of like the saying with Gandhi, man, be the change you want to see. I mean, it's literally up to whoever's listening out there right now. It's up to you to actually put together a show to get the movement going, because I mean, magically it's not going to happen where a promoter's going to, you know, all of a sudden, you know, start pushing you and rock en español. It's just not going to happen. It's going to have to take the whole community as, you know, as one to, and, you know, start moving the shit. You know, that's my thought on it. It's a little depressing. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Just as a musician, just going, fuck, man, I've played here, I've played there, and I'm basically still at square one. I mean, granted, you know, musicians and people know about you, but business-wise, as a business situation, it's pretty fucked up, man. This is something else that pisses me off, dude. The whole pay-to-play shit. I know you're a promoter, but as a band, it's kind of like asking somebody to pay to go to work. It's like, dude, I'm already paying for my gas to show up to the spot. I've paid for my rehearsal spot, for all the guitar strings I'm breaking, all the shit that I'm doing to come entertain, and you still want me to show up with $800 and hand them to you. I mean, to me, that's bullshit, dude. It really is. And I think that's one of the biggest beefs that I have. I understand that promoters want to fill up a venue and they want to have quality music. I understand that. But to me, it's like, it's very like heartbreaking to be able to get any shows that are, you know, bigger. A lot of these promoters, that's the kind of shit that they pull. I had a promoter email me to open up for Los Babasónicos over at, where was it at the Galaxy Theater. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. And then he sends me an email back, oh, you need to sell these many tickets, and they're $22 a ticket. I mean, in a week. And I'm like, well, we can't, you know, do that shit, which is basically telling me I got to show up with $800 to go on the stage and play for 30 minutes. And what they tell you is, oh, but guess what, man? You're going to get a lot of exposure. You're going to get to play in front of all their fans. When in reality, what actually happens is you show up, the sound guy doesn't want to fuck up their sound. So they're not really going to work on your sound too well. Second of all, you just paid that guy $800 to go to work and to go perform. I don't know. Like I said, not that I'm angry at the promoters because everyone's trying to get their cheddar, but I'm angry that other bands are willing to bend over, dude. That's what I'm angry at.
Well,
let me see your perspective.
From a promoter point of view, it's like you want to have the best show you want to have the best show. Okay, if a band were to ask me, like, let's say I'm putting up a show and I'm just going to throw out a name out there. Probably like, let's just say La Ley got back together and stuff, and I'm bringing them over.
Okay.
And so on, right? People find out, everybody's going to be knocking on my door saying, hey, I want to open up. I want to open up for them. The band itself will pretty much sell out. You know, they have their own fans. A local band, in reality, can they bring me as a promoter 300 people?
Can any Spanish local rock band bring you 300 people, bro?
There are some bands that did, but... But okay. But again, okay, we're looking at it from a business point of view, right? Can they bring 300 people? If they bring me If they bring me 300 people, I'll be like, yeah, man. Like, you know, we'll work out a number. But if they don't... See, the reason they're coming to me is because they want to be exposed to those fans. They want to gain fans. So I have to, okay, you want that? You want this publicity? Here's my price. Sell me 300 tickets. Sell me 50 tickets. Sell me 200 tickets. Whatever it is. Because they're coming to me. That's a business point of view.
Well, I didn't go to anybody with my situation. They actually emailed me. And the thing is that most of the time, these pay-to-play guys, people aren't going to them, man. They're usually emailing and trying to get bands, trying to do that hustle.
Yeah, I know. I know. And I've seen that too, that, you know, some promoters will do that and, you know, and they feel they can take it. I mean, they'll take advantage of the situation where they're like, you know, okay, yeah, definitely. Let's ask this band, you know, they'll be more than happy to do it, you know, and I tell you what, dude, you know, I did it, you know, I done it in the past. Did we gain fans? Yeah, we did. Did we gain 100 fans? No, we didn't. We got like, you know, 10, 15, I think 20 at the most, but then it grew.
But I mean, do you think that it's worth for a Spanish rock band to pay $800 to open up for at a local club? I mean, if you're doing the Honda Center, shit, I'm dropping the $800. Let's do this shit. But I mean, that's like an obvious situation, you know? I mean,
okay, I'll tell you what I would do with the knowledge I have gained, with the things I know now. I would not do it. You know what I would do?
Put your own show together?
No. I will make sure I have my musicians, my band, be musically tight, work on my stage performance, do a great recording, hire a producer, and get a publicist.
Okay, but at that point estás hablando de dinero.
Everything's about money, dude.
Pero en un punto empiezan los grupos sin feria, man, y tienen que hacer tocadas para poder evolucionar a ser un grupo bueno.
Let me interrupt you here.
Yeah.
I think like 7 or 10 minutes ago on this podcast, you said, you know what really pisses me off or what frustrates me?
What's that?
I'm doing all this work and I'm back to square one.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. You keep doing the same thing, you need to break it and move to the next level because nobody is going to do anything.
Well, I think
have to do it.
No, I understand that, but dependiendo en cada grupo tienes que ser creativo en diferentes formas, porque lo usual de que se hace, las cosas regulares de promover tus eventos ya no trabajan. Son diferentes cosas que tienes que hacer. Está frustrante, no te voy a decir que no, porque...
But that's in every business, dude.
No, ya, pero la cosa es que el rock en español, bueno, por lo mínimo aquí en Los Ángeles se siente como que es ciudadano de categoría número 2. No es, ni siquiera te tratan como músico regular, man. Por un mendigo vaso de agua no te lo quieren dar los güeyes. Por Diosito que te lo juro, man, que fui a una tocada y ni el agua me querían dar, man. Y esas son mamadas, dude. I mean, la pura neta. So, por eso se me hace que está muy difícil en el rock en español, pero también, como te digo, como consumidor, en veces te frustras porque los eventos en veces están corridos por gente que les pagaron esos $800 y te están poniendo ese grupo porque ellos fueron los que tuvieron el dinero o son amigos de esta otra persona. Porque yo he mirado grupos que tocan The House of Blues, man, The Conga Room. Y dices, oh shit, han de estar perrones estos. Y los escuchas y dices,
What the
God
fuck?
damn, man. Puras mamadas, la pura neta. Y no de ser
Well, I
gacho
don't
esa
think
situación.
it's not a big deal playing at the House of Blues, dude. As it used to
I know.
be. I mean,
Sé que no crees que es una situación. Y para decirte la verdad, es una diferencia en el escenario, man. De tocar en una parte como The Conga Room o The House of Blues, aunque no sea una situación muy grande que digas, toqué el estadio Azteca, pero de todos modos es un nivel diferente de profesionalismo en el escenario, porque en el House of Blues tienes una persona que te está haciendo el sonido, man. Tienes luces profesionales, estás poniéndote en una situación profesional. Y si estás tocando en los clubs, la pura neta he tocado en unas partes donde están gachas, man, like prostitutas enfrente y
nice.
feas, hasta eso, ni siquiera bonitas. Pero, y vatos también, unas partes gachas, man, y tienes que llevar tu propio equipo, tienes que, como te digo, los micrófonos para la fregada, los que tienen allí. Es un nivel muy diferente ir a tocar a House of Blues y estás mirando a estos otros grupos que tocaron contigo la semana anterior y estás diciendo, shit, ¿cómo pudieron estos compas subirse a esos escenarios y estar en ese tipo de profesionalismo cuando la neta vale en Chile, man? Y no por ser gacho, pero es la verdad. Y muchos de los otros grupos, yo no estoy diciendo que el mío, que muchos otros grupos que tienen mucho talento, los miro y lo están tocando en estos bars bien chiquitos y digo, ¿por qué no están estos compas en
Honestly,
escenarios más
bro, I'll tell you,
grandes?
man, I would rather play at a bar
Ajá.
than the fucking House of Blues right now. Because the House of Blues, to me, it's a great place. But the way it's set up for rock en español, I don't like it. And here's why. Because
Elaborate into what do you mean the way it's set up for rock en
doesn't,
español?
because when you go play the House of Blues, I see it more like you're a fucking joke that they threw you out there. Basically, those nights are just like
Scrubbers?
I forgot the proper terminology, what they call it, but it's something that a previous band was scheduled to perform, and then they couldn't sell enough tickets. It's basically a scrub date. You know, that's all it is.
So
then
what you're telling me is rock en español at the House of Blues or some of these other places is not there because promoters want to set up a rock en español night. It's there because let's fill up this shit so somebody can sell beer.
It just gives them an opportunity to say like, hey, we play at the House of Blues and stuff, you know, and yada yada yada. Okay, how much did you get paid? Nothing. Okay, and everything is free. Then you're still doing. You're not paying to. It's not pay to play, but in reality, it is because you know what? They hand you tickets, and you gotta do whatever you can to get rid of them. So that's the only reason I don't. I mean, I love going to the House of Blues and watching a show, but if it's rock en español, I mean, I will go supportive, but at the same time, it's like, you know, no. If you end up getting fans from it, you know what's gonna happen? So, hey, can you put me on the guest list? Hey, well, I'm not gonna go see you. I'm not gonna go see you at this place. I'll see you when you come back to the House of Blues because it's free.
Yeah, that is kind of a.
So that's one of the things. And then you know what? Another thing earlier, you mentioned that some of the bands don't promote their dates, like where.
Yeah, with their websites.
With their web. Well, yeah, you don't know where they're playing and so on. Some bands, what they do is, again, they get super excited that they're gonna play at this venue, at this other venue, and so on. Or they see that they have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dates that they're playing, and most of them are like local. So what you're doing,
burning out that whole.
No, you're like giving fans options. I'll go catch you this date instead. I'll go see you here, and by the time comes, it's like nobody's really gonna go. They all forget. because you have so many dates lined up.
Well, another thing too, man, I think you need to make it a little more. I think the music business has completely changed to the point where you really have to engage the fans a lot more. One thing that I've seen some bands is they just get off the stage, they're shaking their buddy's hand on stage, going, "Yeah, man, that was an awesome show, blah, 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 that was badass, bro." They're packing their shit, and they don't even want to talk to other bands because they're holding their head up so high from the show that they just played. And to me, after you finish playing that show, you got to go say thanks to the people that stayed and watched you, man. I don't know. To me, you got to thank those people because, you know, those are the people that were willing to stand there, you know, outside in the cold, you know.
But they give you their time.
Yeah, their time. And I think I'm not saying it's to, you know, shake off 300 people that are at the show or whatever it is, you know, but.
Why not?
Well, I mean, I guess.
Why not?
Okay, whatever. If you want to, whatever. But my whole point is...
You know why I would do that? Because they'll remember me.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. But I think that's what I'm talking about, though. You got to make it more personable now. It's not about, hey, I'm a fucking rock star, and you guys just got lucky to see me. No, it's hey, bro, my name is blah, blah, blah. And
that was the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s era where you could do that.
Well, I think that's what we need to fucking do, man. And, you know, Rock en Español needs to do that shit. So people are like, you know what? I fucking met that guy. He was fucking cool. He shook my hand, and he's cool peeps. And I think that's what we need to get back to, man. I think a lot of people think that they're rock stars before they're even rock stars, bro. You know, like they're walking around, and you're like, relax, fucker. I mean, you know, that's the truth, dude. I mean, you got to take pictures with people. I mean, shake their hands. I mean, I'm not saying kiss babies because there shouldn't be any babies there, but I mean, you gotta be a lot more outgoing.
I seen that though. I mean, I seen that bands do that, but it's
not on stage though. Not on stage.
No,
you gotta take your shit off stage.
They do it outside, and it's like, you know, there are some people there's some very kind people out there, man, that they appreciate the rock en español. I remember when I was managing one of the bands, and we went up to Salinas, and they waited for us, you know, for the band, you know, to say hi and so on. Great girls, man, like, you know, great fans. Became loyal, and you have to do what you can, man, in order to get that fan, you know, word of mouth. It's
well but see, that's where I was coming back to. That say you do all that legwork, say you do get the fans, you got to make it convenient now with that website for them to purchase your merchandise and for them to find out when you're playing again. Because that's one of the, like some bands may be great at shaking hands and kissing babies, but it's like, well, where do I catch you guys again? Well, we'll let you guys know. I mean,
that's pretty lame. I've seen that.
But that shit happens all the time, dude. And it's like, no, man, check it out. You can check us out on our website. We have all our following dates there. We have new stuff that's going on. Sign up to our email, email blast. We'll send you guys newsletters.
Well, definitely collect that, you know, collect emails, collect, you know, phone numbers, do all that. And again, if you're going to have, like, you know, multiple shows in the same city, within the city, do it wisely. Don't give them all of those options. Then they'll be like, oh, I'm going to go catch him here. Oh, no, I missed them. I'll go here. Oh, no, they're playing frequently, so I'll just see him next time or whatever. Don't confuse them. You know, you got to be really smart you're going to promote your shows. Remember, that's what's going to bring you in, like you say, your chatter to your table, man.
At least I feel, here's another angle, too, with a lot of the problems with bands about music and pirating. Okay, mucha gente dice que no la piratería, y a mí se me hace que la pura neta, con eso, yo prefiero que una persona descargue todo el disco, man, y lo escuche, y si le gusta, yo sé que van a venir a nuestra siguiente tocada. Y si no tienen dinero, por lo mínimo escucharon lo que estamos haciendo. Y se me hace que muchos grupos dicen, no, yo hice eso, ese es nuestro trabajo, y nos tienen que pagar por nuestro trabajo. A mí se me hace que, la neta, esas son mamadas, porque las personas que están descargando la música nunca te hubieran escuchado si no descargan esa música, aunque sea piratería. A mí se me hace que eso beneficia a todos los grupos chicos de poder, de que gente te escuche que no te escuchas. Yo digo sí a ese tipo de piratería, para decirte la neta, porque se me hace que eso beneficia a la comunidad. Una cosa que sí creo que está mal en la piratería es de que una persona agarre tu disco tuyo personal y se lo empieza a vender a la otra gente y ellos están haciendo dinero. A mí se me hace que ese ángulo es lo que me enojaría, pero si una persona, un individuo quisiera descargar todo nuestro disco, que lo descargue, man. Por lo mínimo escuchan lo que estamos haciendo y, y pueden por lo mínimo escuchar. Si les gusta, chido. Yo sé que van a ir a nuestra siguiente tocada o van a comprar mercancía que tengamos en el sitio de internet y a lo mejor hasta compran tu disco porque dicen, ¿sabes qué? Me gustó mucho y quiero que me dé un autógrafo. Hay muchos diferentes ángulos, pero se me hace que eso de la piratería nos beneficia a todos los músicos independientes mucho y más de lo que mucha gente piensa.
You have a couple of good, valid points in there, but I agree and I disagree with you. One of the things is like, you work really hard for it, and why should people take it? But again, the way you make it sound is like, here's my stuff. Go ahead, get it. But then you're letting them know. The way I see it is like when you give your stuff out like that, give out the samples. Yeah, give them. Let them know who you are, and let them come back and buy your merchandise, your product, your CD, because as a band, especially not signed, you need to have some revenue to take care of the other stuff that you need.
But if nobody knows you, bro, there is no revenue to collect.
It's true. No, it's true. And
So, I mean, you got to take that as
that's why I say it. I agree and I disagree with you on a couple of things.
To me, you got to take that as that's your cost of marketing. I mean, that's...
Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that. You can look at it from that point of view. Why give out the whole album? Just give them 3.
I guess what I'm referring to is if they, pirate or the CD from their friends
eventually that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I don't think it's quite so bad, dude. I mean, a lot of bands are like, oh, that they're stealing from me. That's like taking a CD from the store, and I don't really think it's that, man. And like I said, especially for independent bands, dude, that's probably the best thing that could happen to you, dude, because I want to make sure that people hear, my stuff. That's what I want them to hear, because in reality, I mean, CD sales are plummeting, or music sales are plummeting for all these artists, man. So what I've noticed in the trends is that everyone is really coming up on their live shows. Because that's at least to me, from my perspective, that's where all these individuals are starting to make, cheddar now. So I kind of view it in the same way, man. If somebody hears my CD from their friend that they burned a copy, whatever, that's cool, man. They now heard who I am, and if they like me enough, they're gonna buy my CD and have me autograph it.
Look for you.
Yeah, they're gonna look for you. And I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. This is a little weird to admit, but I'm a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. And
it's horrible.
Yeah, whatever, bro. I get enough shit from everyone, but check it out. I'm a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan, and sometimes I can't find the movies, dude, just because they're not stocked at certain places. And I'm gonna admit, I get it.
Who the hell wants to watch that shit?
I get them from shady places. All right, that's all I gotta say. Yeah, but whenever I find the movie, I buy it because I know that I want to support that individual. So, well, I don't want to say how I get my copies of Van Damme because I don't want to incriminate myself around here with different websites. But, however, my whole point is that I view the content and then I still purchase the product because I enjoy his movies. And I feel the same way. I feel that the same thing's going to happen. If somebody really likes your band, they're going to buy your stuff, bro. But the thing is, you have to make it convenient. You got to understand that the whole reason that iTunes is so popular is because of the convenience of it. That people can just click on it. I could legally buy it for $1. Shit, here's my credit card. I just bought that for $1. But you have to make it convenient. If you make it difficult, shit, they're going to go to the illegal places and they're going to download that stuff. So like I said, that's my view on it, man.
Terrible taste in movies. This
Whatever, bro. Whatever.
Oh my God, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Hey, he's coming out of the new Expendables too, man. You should check that shit out.
Oh God, it's horrible. Anyways, dude, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, dude. I mean, you just destroy me already, dude, with this
What?
Jean-Claude Van Damme thing.
Hey, who knows, bro? Maybe the next Jean-Claude Van Damme has one of the listeners' Rock en Español stuff, bro. Yeah, you never
I
know.
might be a fan then. If that were to happen, then I will be supportive.
All right,
All
well,
right, then that's gonna do it, man. It's the wrap, and we hope you guys enjoy the show. And this is called Talking Rock en Español.
you guys can leave some comments on our YouTube video. We're gonna be putting the radio show or the podcast up on YouTube, also on our website.
www.intoroq.com. INTOROQ.
All right, and you can check us out there to get an RSS feed, and so you can listen to all the other stuff we're doing. Also, one thing we wanted to do is we're gonna in the near future we want to interview different bands and different artists and stuff, so you guys can hear their perspectives on different situations. Pero me parece que ya se terminó aquí la pachanga, entonces ya. Muchísimas gracias otra vez y que tengan un buen día, una buena noche, una buena mañana.
Buena semana.
A la hora que nos estén escuchando. Una vez más, yo soy Héctor Robles y mi buen amigo
Cristian
Mejía. Que tengan un buen día.